How's it going, folks? So, a couple of weeks ago, my buddy Jinx got into it with some e-file lists, and then a couple of days ago, I joined in on this conversation as well. So, there are a few points I want to point out, primarily to the e-file lists. However, anybody else who's watching can join in the conversation as is. But I want to start off this by saying I've known Jinx for quite some time. I've never known him to deliberately misrepresent anybody's argument, take them out of context deliberately, or misrepresent anybody's position. And this is further compounded when I ask you guys to give a straight answer on what your position is, and you guys fail to answer that. You know, I don't care if it's a popular opinion or not. I mean, the fact that you're not doing this is not helping your case, especially when you're claiming that Jinx is taking you out of context and you can't even give a straight answer on your position. So, that in and of itself suggests to me that you probably are lying about Jinx taking you out of context. Furthermore, it's not an unreasonable request to ask you what your position is. And if you have to sit there and tap dance around the issue and say, oh, well, we're just not sure that you're going to have a good faith conversation with us, is why you're not giving your answer. Well, that's not good enough. You know, I have plenty of discussions on this channel about Second Amendment, and even in any conversation I get into with gun controllers, even though I know that 99% of them are either acting out of ignorance or bad faith, well, I'm still able to give a direct answer on my position. Primary example right here, the fact that I had to get a tax stamp for this carbine. That's a violation of the Second Amendment. The fact that I had to get a tax stamp for the suppressor, well, that's a violation of the Second Amendment. The fact that this carbine is not select fire, and you can tell because there's no third pinhole right about here, well, that's a violation of the Second Amendment in my book. And I would argue that's just an objective fact, considering the fact the Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. I'll further take it another step by saying that Congress had no such authority to pass those laws to begin with under Article 1 of our Constitution. And of course, I know that if there was a bill, we'll call it CR's Act to end all unconstitutional violations of our Second Amendment, well, you'd obviously hear the collective screeching of gun controllers saying, oh, this is going to kill us all. Most people aren't going to have much to say on it. And then you're going to get people on my side of the aisle who are going to be pushing to try to get it passed. You know, while I know my position isn't exactly the most popular position, well, I'm still not afraid to say it. You guys, on the other hand, seem to be afraid to give a direct answer on what your position is, and that does throw up red flags. Moving on to objective and subjective, because this seems to be something that you guys have a major problem with understanding the difference between what objective and subjective is. So I'll put this as simply as I can. Objective is basic fact, it's observable, it's quantifiable, it is basic hard fact. Example, there is one lighter in my hand. I'm holding one lighter. People can easily look at the video and observe this. People can see my hand. It's quantifiable that I only have one lighter in my hand. Now I have two lighters in my hand. Again, observable, quantifiable. Anybody who's shooting straight can look at this and see 1, 2. Now, that would be an example of a fact. Let's take an objective fact further. I have one knife in my hand. It is a knife. It is fixed blade. As you can tell the blade runs all the way through the handle. This blade is not retractable and it's not folding, unless, of course, you actually damage the knife by, say, putting it in a vise and bending it over. Well, I guess at that point it will fold, but it's not designed to do that. You're modifying the knife in and of itself by folding it like that. This is a folding blade knife. You'll notice how it opens up, and I can fully put it out, and I can easily fold it back. It's designed to fold back in place. So right now I have two knives in my hand. One is a fixed blade, one is a folding blade. These are examples of objective facts. All right, so when we get into pain, well, pain is a little bit more difficult to quantify. What may seem like a bunch of pain to you is not a bunch of pain to somebody else. And there are actually experiments you can do to show my position. If you were to, say, get 1,000 people together at random, have them individually get shot one time by a paintball, and then them record their level of pain by that particular paintball, you would have, and on a scale from 0 to 10, all else being equal, you're going to get different answers. There's going to be one common response, a response that's more common than the others. There's going to be an average. But again, as I say, you're going to have some people that say, well, that did feel like a 2. I mean, it wasn't the most painful thing I've experienced, not by a long shot, but it still hurt. You're going to have some people that say, well, yeah, that didn't really hurt all that much or at all. I didn't feel it. And then you're going to have some people that go, wow, that was the worst pain ever. Now, granted, the people that go, wow, this is the worst pain ever are going to be the outliers, just the same as people who say, well, I didn't really feel a thing. They're also going to be the outliers. However, you'll notice that there is no one uniform answer. Furthermore, take it a step further. You're going to have people say, they stub their toe versus, close their hand in a door. You're going to have some people that probably say that stubbing of their toe hurt worse than the closing of the hand in the door, versus the people who say, well, closing my hand in the door hurt worse than stubbing my toe. People experience pain differently. It's not all 100% uniform. And quite frankly, people have different tolerances for pain. You'd have somebody who stubs their toe, oh my God, I'm going to die. And I know this is an outlier. And then you have somebody, got their guts hanging out on the ER, on the litter going to the ER. Oh, don't worry, this is like maybe a 2 in pain. You have the medic looking at him like, buddy, that looks like more like an 8, 9, possibly 10 on pain. You don't look all right, buddy. Looks like it's a lot more painful than what you're saying it is. So yeah, you're getting into things that are much harder to quantify. And we might never be able to fully quantify the pain each person experiences for different things. All right. You guys' position seems to be that, well, life is so painful that it's not even worth living. Okay. Well, that is your opinion. That is a subjective opinion at that point. It's not an objective opinion. It's not an objective fact. Excuse me. I'm not re-recording this because I had to correct myself. But maybe an objective fact would be that the vast majority of the universe is not capable of sustaining most life. Nobody's arguing that it's not. However, here on Earth, it's definitely hospitable to the life we have here, especially compared to the rest of the universe. So, obviously, it is objectively true that this planet is capable of sustaining life. Hence, we have life. Now, you're asked on your solution to this if life shouldn't exist. Okay, which it does really seem like it's an authoritarian position, considering the fact that you're going to have plenty of people who object to going to a premature grave, unless you have to force your will on other people. So, unless you can convince every life form on this planet that death is better than living, well, you're going to have to resort to authoritarian means in order to get your way. So there you have it on that and what Jinx is getting at when he's asking you about your authoritarian position. And again, as I say, if there's anything I've stated that's not fact or is a misrepresentation, why don't you guys come out and say it? All right, so I'm going to leave that at that for now because I'm not meaning for this video just to keep on going on and on and on and on. So, comment sections there. When I get further information to extrapolate from and further comment on, I might make another video. I might leave it at that. So, for those of y'all watching, made it this far, y'all take her easy out there. Have a great day.